back to Youth Poverty Scholars School Radio and TV on KEXU 96.1 FMLP. I am Mordecai, and this is
Psycho Sasha, and this is
T-Boo. Okay, so real quick, what we're going to be reporting on today is the recent kidnapping of children by this government and more specifically ICE, the International Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So real quick, we went to Decolonized Academy. All of us at Decolonized Academy yesterday went to a protest against Salesforce for creating a $20 million contract with ICE and more especially CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol, which is a company that basically takes children away from their families because they're undocumented people. So I'm gonna pass it over to whoever's next.
Okay, so today we're going to be interviewing Pancho, who is a liberator. He also is someone who lives on the Mukaluman River watershed, and he does much more. So we'll get into that.
Before we get into the interview, I will be explaining what Salesforce is. Salesforce is a $20 million, Salesforce has a $20 million contract with CBP, which is Customs and Border Protection. 700 of the workers signed a petition for Salesforce to end the contract with them, but Salesforce basically said no. Somebody who works at Salesforce, people outside of Salesforce were protesting the contract that Salesforce had with CBP. And one person at the protest said, I want Salesforce to drop the contract with CBP, and I think everybody should stop working with CBP.
Okay, so today we'll be asking Pancho some questions, and what I've been wondering for the longest time is, what are your thoughts on ICE, aka the Immigration Customs Enforcement, and their other branch, CBP, which is their Customs Border Protection?
Well, thank you, brothers, for doing this. It's a pleasure to be with you here in your presence. It's really inspiring to know all the work that you're doing. And basically, ICE, or as we call it, La Migra, I'm one of the 11 million undocumented human beings in this part of the planet. But I said I'm proudly undocumented because this ICE and CBP is not new. This has been happening since the foundation of this empire. They used to kidnap children from the indigenous people and put it in so-called boarding schools. They've been kidnapping black children from the slaves and doing whatever they want with them, and now they're doing this with immigrants. So this is not new. La Migra, or ICE, was created just 15 years ago, but this attack on immigrants has been happening for many more generations. So what we want to do now, and this movement is growing, is to abolish ICE. So we're abolitionists. You have all these like amazing posters over there. We are abolitionists of the 21st century. And we are not only need to abolish ICE and CBP, but we need to abolish borders. That's what I give you this complicated name of the Mukaluman River watershed, is because imagine that we just can reorganize ourselves and get rid of all these borders, but know where our water comes from. So this is occupied Wichin, which is a Loni land, and the watershed where we live is coming from the Mukaluman River. So let's have a bolder vision and get rid of all this. And of course, it needs to happen with stop cooperating with corporations that are supporting La Migra and putting pressure on politicians too, that they need to be a very clear posture to be with the people or not.
Okay, and how are you going about fixing these problems right now? The problems that ICE and CBP and other colonizers are making right now. Like, how are you going about these problems?
That's a great question. The first thing is that dignity and respect and the freedom, no one can give you that. All that comes from within. And so we are not trying to fix anything, because this is a quote for you. When you try to, when you see the world as broken, you try to fix it. When you see the world as weak, you try to help it. But when you see the world as whole, you serve it. So what part of the things that we were doing, and I was with my brothers and sisters and siblings, they shut down the building of ICE in San Francisco. They shut down main block in San Francisco downtown for 6 days, and it was shut down. And it was joyous, and there was food, and there was children, and then we have like 2,000 people that went to the detention center in Richmond. So what we need to do is to have this continuity of shutting down these things, because then I talked to a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, and he was saying actually that it was working to get all to shut down this was helping to get out people in our neighborhoods.
All right, so thank you for being here.
Thank you
for your time.
This is beautiful.
Answering my
This is
questions.
great.
So,
Okay, so in conclusion, we talked with Pancho and we reported about what's going on, you know, because we want y'all to know what's going on out there. It pertains to all of us. This isn't just about migrante people. This isn't just about a couple of people or a couple of minorities or majorities. This is about everyone. This pertains to everyone who's living in the world, because we're all people and we're all together. So thank you, everybody. This is Youth Poverty Scholars Radio, 96.1 KEXU FMLP.
And here's a gift for you, my citizens of the world. Like, huh? It's for you.
Wow.
Bring it up. There we go.
This is us.
Hey. Abolish borders, baby. This is the real flag. This is not a symbol. This is the ultimate selfie. This is our real nation. We are all citizens of the world.